Hello, my lovely Scorpio. This is your reading for the week of April 14th or whenever it resonates. There's quite a lot coming in for you, and it started earlier today, so here we go. The first image that I get was of you standing in front of something called a Galileo thermometer, and it's something that I gave my sister as a gift. I'd never seen it before. It's little glass balls of colored liquid with weights attached to them, floating in a cylinder of liquid. And depending upon where the floating balls land, that determines what the temperature is for the day, or that signifies what the temperature is for the day. And I was trying to understand what it was about, because I got this image 2 days ago, but I wasn't getting more. I finally asked the right question and I got the information. I am wearing red and blue, these bright colors, and there's no coincidence, because it's true. As I was starting my day, I knew I was going to do your reading, and these were the ones I was drawn to. And these are very often the colors that I associate with you. And I'm understanding now why, because as I look at these little floating blobs, floating glass balls, what I realize I'm seeing your chakras. And red, root chakra; blue, throat and third eye. And what I'm really getting for you today is this. There's a couple of things. One is this. One is you are in the process of really having your nervous system adjust out of an old frequency that was very much focused on earth plane energy. Now, what does that mean? That means that you were working very diligently within a frequency that was much more related to material success, focused on work, not necessarily really focused on your internal life, not to the degree that you could, not to the degree that you were obviously evolving your consciousness. But you were. You were doing the work you needed to do to evolve your consciousness. Now, what this is about is allowing your energies to align in such a way so that you can make use of the lessons, that you can understand and integrate the deeper meanings of what you experienced. And not just understand it, but understand this. And this is something that the guides really want you to hear, and that is that as you integrate it, your energy changes. That's when you start really evolving and really expanding your consciousness and raising the frequency, which allows you access to higher consciousness and other dimensions. So the thing is this, what I'm feeling is that some of you have felt as though it's too late. I'll never get it. Or I'm too old. Or not even just too old, but maybe too jaded. Or you've already made choices in your life that seem unchangeable, or that have created a certain trajectory that you can't shift. But Scorpio, what you're being told is it's not too late. What you're being told is that you have got... Oh, and again, my goodness, the shivers, Scorpio. You have got so much angelic presence around you. And you've got so much guidance that you're not even aware you've got a lot of times. And you also don't realize how many times, even in the process of doing what you thought was just kind of mundane life and coping and surviving, is that you have really been doing a lot of channeling that you didn't know was channeling. And what does that mean? Channeling can look different to different people. It can be through art, through music, through service, through all sorts of different ways that are not necessarily obvious. So you don't have to be reading cards. You don't have to be giving messages. You don't have to be doing healing work. You can still be channeling spirit in so many different ways, and you have been. Part of it has been with your dedication to doing what you were doing. Even if it wasn't fully what you wanted to do, even if it only satisfied this much of your pie and not the rest of it, your life pie of quadrants or sections that you would have. But what you were being told, my lovely Scorpio, is if you have been feeling as though you've left things too late, if you feel as though you have not done enough work to be where you are, that is not the case. What you are being reminded of is the work that you have done. However guarded it was, however protected you were trying to keep yourself, you were still doing it within the process of evolution and consciousness. So it's not too late. We all have the capacity to take whatever our experiences were from the past and understand the deeper meaning of them as we allow ourselves to feel and integrate. Now, why did this start with the chakras? Why did this start with this image of the colors that relate to the chakras for me? Scorpio, sometimes what can happen, and this came through really clearly as I was sitting over there, there can be so much trauma in the body that you don't even identify as trauma, okay? Trauma can happen and get lodged in the body without us actually having been consciously aware of the fact that it was trauma. How can that happen? That can happen because sometimes we are using mood-altering substances. It might happen when you're drinking. It might happen when you're conscious of it happening, but where you're so altered, either through stress, through chemicals, that your body responds to it as a trauma, but your head hasn't processed it as a trauma. So it can get lodged in your body without you knowing it. So this can be ongoing stress situations. This can be ongoing stress situations where you're just kind of compressing it, stuffing it down, or where you're using substances to just kind of get through the anxiety around it. And when I say substances, hey, my substance of choice for many years was nicotine. So it doesn't have to be, crack cocaine. No judgment, but, but it doesn't have to be something big and huge and really like next level mood alterance. It can be a lot of different things. Hey, it can be shopping. It can be sex. It can be anything that gives you that dopamine hit and reduces the stress for you. But the point is, if it's not understood in a way where it gets to move through the nervous system, then it can stay in the nervous system. So I'd like you to consider what happens to a dog, for example, or an animal when they become frightened or challenged in some way. What will happen afterward is their body will take over. There will be barking, yelling, not yelling, but barking and shaking and shivering and frantic activity. And that is the physical body getting rid of that stress out of the body. But if your body can't process it, if your cognitive mind can't process that, if you're using anything to kind of suppress that, that can keep it in the body for long periods of time. And that's what we want to kind of move out. So that's one of the reasons why doing any energy work around the chakras helps, because the chakras are the interface between your body chemistry, your physicality, and your emotions, as well as your insight, your ability to channel information and guidance and all of that stuff. So this may seem like long and convoluted, but I'm hoping that you're getting it all, because I think this is really relevant, because you are so seriously and have been in the process of evolving into that space of really moving into that higher frequency of energy and really moving forward with that in terms of how you create your life, how you see yourself, the freedoms that you take, and in that, the level of guidance and inspiration you're going to get, okay? So please, 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 my lovely Scorpios, if you're feeling frustrated, if you're feeling stuck, check in with where there has been ongoing trauma or the possibility of trauma that you have not identified as trauma that might be lodged in your body. And one of the ways that you can start working with that is through your breath, staying in touch with your physical body, doing work to stay in touch with your physical body. Now, that might be through meditation, through guided meditation. It might be through somato-emotional work. It might be through breath work. Breath work is really powerful for uniting the conscious mind with what's actually going on in the body. But the very first card that you get is grace, okay? Grace. Grace. Grace is not earned. Grace is a state in which we receive for no apparent reason a divine influence which strengthens us in a way that eases whatever problematic or miserable state we find ourselves. Grace needs only to be accepted in order to be received. Okay? So you're getting grace. You're getting do it big. Okay? And you're getting use your senses. Staying in your body. Now, I'm not going to read the card to you about use your senses because it's a very specific exercise that may not be relevant to you in this case, but you are also being asked to imagine that you are seeing things now from a new perspective, okay? What if you were looking at whatever your situation is, whatever your goal is, your desire to move forward with? What if you looked at it with new eyes instead of just looking at it with the weight of the past on it? Can you separate the two? It's kind of like playing a trick on your mind. But actually what it's doing is it's just constructively using your consciousness to work with your mind and really telling it what the truth is, operating from truth. What is the truth? The truth is you're starting now. The past only affects you if you keep bringing it up in your mind, okay? If there's past that needs to be resolved through trauma, this is the guidance and the suggestion to do it. And sometimes it isn't that. Sometimes it is just carrying with us memories of the past that we're still hanging on to, that it's so familiar that we do that. And also sometimes because it slows us down from moving forward. And I think I've addressed this before. I'm not sure if it was with you, but the reality is sometimes we really do just not want to move out of comfort. We don't, our nervous system, and consciously we can say, well, yes, of course I want to finish this book, this collection of poetry, whatever it is, this art gallery, this incredible space. Excuse me a minute, please. And you can really consciously want to. And there's also a part of the nervous system that recognize this as new and unfamiliar. And sometimes what it will do as a way to protect us is it will bring up these things to slow us down or to give us the opportunity to stop, to give us the reason to stop. Well, now this is your choice, of course. But it's also a really good opportunity when you find yourself getting stuck against those things is to stop and go, okay, does this really need to be investigated? Or is this just, my nervous system saying, are you really ready? Do you want to do this? So check it out, because it can be that there's more information coming to you in order to be able to shift your frequency into a new level by releasing or integrating information. And it may just be your nervous system going, check it out. Are you sure? Are you really sure? So, Scorpio, this is all good. You've seriously got the guidance here to move forward, and you've got the grace card. You've got the do it big, engage in life, use your senses, stay in your body, work with what comes up, if it comes up, and really give yourself the opportunity to look at things in a new way. And the other card that shows up on the bottom of the deck is pain, okay? Do you inadvertently punish yourself with pain? Do you think you are diligent, hardworking, productive, or loyal only if it hurts? Well, my loves, it's time for pleasure. Okay, Scorpio? You guys have been through enough. You have really been through enough. It's time for pleasure, okay? And that's not just me saying that.